Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're out planting up some spring flowers. It's beautiful out today, so let's get after it. So guys, it is another gorgeous day here in southern Illinois. I think it's like 55. It's supposed to be 65 degrees today as a high. So it is gorgeous, and we're out in the garden. We're going to be planting up some spring planters in our little pots here. We use these at our front entryway most of the time, and they work fantastic, and we're going to plant them up with something a little bit different this year. So usually we use pansies in these planters here in the early spring. They like the cooler temperatures, but we're going to switch it up this year with something that we found actually yesterday when we were out shopping for our pansies. We ran across these Ranunculus, and wow, let's take a look at them. They're amazing. I mean, look at that bloom, guys. So, as you can see, they're just like gorgeous. So really excited about these. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and plant them up in our planters and get them fertilized and watered in, and I'll kind of take you along on my process of planting plants in containers. So let's go. So guys, when we found these, they were already planted up in these containers. We got them at Lowe's when we were out and about yesterday, but we thought, well, we'll just take the easy route this year and find something, you know, already pre-planted up, and we'll just take it out of this container and put it into our container that we already use up front. But just take a look at these blooms. I mean, they are amazing. It looks like I don't know, a combination between maybe a carnation and a rose, but it is just amazing. And they smell fantastic. They'll bloom all spring, and this plant here is just, you know, full of buds. So what I'll do, like I said, is I'll take you through this process of how I go about planting up our containers, and we'll see what kind of questions we have. So guys, what we did was we dumped out all of the soil out of these, the old soil from last year. What I try to do every year is put a fresh batch of soil in all of my containers. What you can do is make sure that, you know, your container that you're using is going to be a draining container, so it has a hole in the bottom, and you want to make sure that you're using a good potting mix. I'll link some below, but make sure that you're not using garden soil. Garden soil is for the garden, so it doesn't drain well, and for something that we're putting in a container, we're going to want it to drain very, very well. So we got the old soil out of here, and let's go ahead and clean these up real quick before we plant them up. Alright, I think we've got them dusted off pretty good. You know, you just want to start with a nice fresh looking planter to start the year. What I may be doing here maybe next year is spray painting these black again to give them a nice fresh look. But let's go ahead and get our soil in here, and then we'll kind of talk about how I prepare the soil to make sure that we have really good, successful plants here. Alright, I'm going to fill up the pot about halfway is what I like to do, and just make sure any clumps or anything like that is broken up. The soil that we're using today is an organic soil by Miracle-Gro. You know, it's nothing special that I specifically picked up. It was a good deal at Costco, and it holds moisture really well from what I've seen. and it's just what we'll kind of use today. So what I always like to put in my soil is this water-soluble pellets from Proven Winners. They're heat activated, and they'll feed the soil for, it says, up to 6 months. You know, anytime I switch out of flowers or anything like that, I will kind of sprinkle a little bit more in there. But what we'll do is we'll just kind of sprinkle this over the top of the soil. And what this will do is just give our plants a good feed and you know, really give them a good start. And you got to keep in mind too that these are spring plants, so they're not going to stay in this pot forever. These Ranunculus are going to get about 14 to 16 inches high, and they'll fill out this pot really well. But we don't have to worry about you know, spacing or anything like that, just because, you know, they're going to be in here for a short period of time before we put our summer annuals in here. So what we'll do is we'll give this fertilizer a good mix, and once we get our plant in here, then what we'll do is we'll put a little bit more around the plant itself, around the drip line. So things about Ranunculus. They like sun. Probably get a good block of 6 to 8 hours of sun, and they bloom all through the spring. From what I found is that they just work really well in the area that I'm going to be putting them in. Is in the front of our house. It's full sun all the time, so it's really bright, and you know, it sometimes gets really warm, but these should thrive in this spring. So they're going to be a perfect plant, I think, and like we said, I mean, they're gorgeous. So let's take it out of this pot that it came in, and we'll get it put inside of our container here. Really good root system on these guys. One thing that I didn't mention was that they tolerate frost. So now that we're planting them really early in the spring here, if we do have a dip in temperatures, you know, we're going to be okay with these. So that's exciting too. So we'll make a little cavity here for them in the bottom, little dip, and set them down in there. We're going to put them right at the top of the planter here, maybe a little bit below. And what we'll do is we'll get some additional soil here and fill around the edge. And you can see I make a disaster of a mess when I pot my plants, but what we do is we just blow all this off into the lawn, and it has good stuff in it that will make the lawn happy too. So again, we're just filling this out all along the edge. Making sure that any clumps of soil that you have are broken up. All right, I think we've got it planted up here. So we'll clean up these edges, we'll run the blower on it. But like I said, once we get this in here, we'll sprinkle a little bit more of this around the edge. Just to give it a little bit of food while we have it here in the planter. So let's clean this up, and we'll take a real good close look at them. Alright, there you go guys. We've got them all planted up. They are going to look fantastic. Once we get them up to their home, we'll give them a good watering in so that they have a good start for the year, or for the season really, here in the spring. And they are just, wow, fantastic. I'm really excited about them. So like I said, you want to make sure that you give them a little food. I'll link all of these things below so that you can check them out, and you know, they're going to do really well for us here this spring. We'll be sure to water them in here before we have at it and let them do their thing. but we'll take them up here to their home and really enjoy them. So until next time, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Be sure to get some Ranunculus of your own if you enjoyed these. We'll leave some informational links below for you, but we can't wait to see you again. Thanks. Bye-bye.